what did you take away from Coach K while watching him, and also how he kind of organized practice?
Mm-hmm. I actually think the thing I took most from Coach K was an incident that occurred. One of my good friends was on the men's team, didn't play it much at all, was not in the lineup, never got in, was the last kid off the bench in games, and he was struggling. He was struggling with school, and Coach K asked me to come into his office one day after my practice, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? And he said, hey, I know you're friends with Joe. What can we do to help Joe? And I remember that was just so profound for me to think, okay, Joe doesn't play, but yet you care about him so much that you are looking to get a circle around him to help him be his best. And it wasn't going to impact Coach K's wins or losses, because Joe wasn't getting any time. But I remember thinking that how great that was, that he cared about his players enough to know so much about them and who they were, who their friends were, and how best to help them. So that to me was probably the greatest lesson I learned. And I think the other thing that I learned is you need to be harder in practice than you are in a game. Like, people didn't realize how, Coach K could be pretty mean. He had, he was an Army guy, and he had some colorful language, but you didn't see that as much on the court, because he always felt that practice had to be the most difficult environment that you play in, and that the game should be easier. And so, I'm not always as good at that as I want to be. We never are, but that's always, you try to make practice more challenging than a game.
You're a